Today is the 4th annual Tidefest event. We're here at Strand on the Green on the River Thames with the organiser of Tidefest, Martin Salter. Martin, I hear it's bigger and better than ever before. What are some of the highlights?
Well, I think it's been fantastic that we've been able to use Kew Bridge Piazza. It's the first time actually this wonderful piece of space by the One Over the 8 pub there, the other side of Kew Bridge, has actually been used for a community event. So we've had the Victorian fire engine there, we've had live music, we've had water aid down there. So it's been great, really good to expand Tidefest into a new space. And of course the whole range of activities down here on the foreshore, as you see, lots of people paddleboarding, kayaking, lots of big fish being caught, which is great. As usual, the trips on the Windrush cruiser are very, very popular. The foreshore walks sold out. Lots of people going down to Lots 8, if you'll pardon the pun, the boatyard down at Brentford. That's a real hidden gem of a place.
Thames Water are playing a huge part of this year's Tidefest event. We're here today with Thames Water Director of External Affairs, Richard Aylard. Richard, can you tell us what's the involvement today?
Well, as Thames Water, we're very keen to get people to think about where their water comes from and where their wastewater goes to. And in both cases, after we've treated it, the answer is the River Thames. So if we can persuade people not, for instance, to flush wet wipes, if we can ask them to use water wisely, think about what they're using, that will make life easier for us. It'll help keep customer bills down, and it'll get customers more engaged with the environment, which we all depend on. I mean, all our drinking water comes from the River Thames, and once we've treated the waste, that's where it goes back. So this is really important to us.
I just walked here with my son to the pub One Over the 8, and we saw on the foreshore a massive white paper monster. What on earth is that?
Well, that's the monster we've worked on with the Marine Conservation Society to try and draw attention to the problem of disposing of wet wipes down the toilet. Now, it looks as though they're nice and flushable, and some of them are even labelled as flushable, but they really aren't because they don't break down. So they cause blockages in the sewer. We don't want to put anything in the river. All we want down the toilet is pee, poo and paper, to be fairly basic about it. If it's not that, put it in the bin. So please think about what you flush, but also think about how much water you use.
And what are your favourite activities on the Thames? Do you do any sailing or paddleboarding?
Yeah, well, I'm a bit of a river person, so I sail and I fish and I birdwatch. So mostly further up the river, nearer to Reading. But there are so many activities you can do on the river, and Tidefest is all about showing people what they can do. And just what a fantastic resource we have on our doorsteps.
Lots of local companies, big businesses and charities are involved with Tidefest. Water Aid is one of them. We're here with the lovely Ria and her mummy. Ria, can you tell us what's happening here?
So this is a toilet.
Yes.
Where there's a game here where you have to throw this poop into the toilet.
And why is it important to just put poo and wee and paper down the toilet and nothing else?
Because then the sewage pipes will get blocked up.
Okay, and we don't want that happening, do we? And Ria, what have you enjoyed about today?
I enjoyed the poop game and also the time clock over there.
Tidefest has attracted many people. One of them here today is our local mayor for the borough of Hounslow, Councillor Sue Sampson. Your Worship, can you tell us, what do you think of Tidefest so far?
It's fantastic. The opportunities and you know, the stalls, you know, you've got the Steam Museum. I think it's brilliant. It's brilliant, and there's so many of the community here today that's been sort of in and out, and there's been a few hundred people pass through here today. It's good. It's good to see.
I understand as part of your role as mayor, you want to get out in the community, talk to people, find out what they're doing and their roles. Who have you met today and what are they doing?
I've met the Steam Museum. I have been there many years ago, but it's good, and I was shoveling coal into the machine earlier.
How do you get involved with the river yourself? Do you live near the river? Do you interact with the river?
I'm the ward councillor for Isleworth, so we have the London, like Church Street, the London Apprentices, which is the river. So it's it's one of the gems of the London Borough of Hounslow. So yes, I'm very fortunate to have that in my ward. So yes, I do try and spend as much time down there as I possibly can.
Lots of local companies have got involved with Tidefest today. One of them is the Fuller's Pub, 1 over the 8 here by Kew Bridge. Dan, you're the general manager here. What has 1 of the 8 got involved with today?
So today we've been doing samples of some of the food that we do here, so our roast beef, our Hampshire roast beef, and also our London porter smoked salmon. And as you can see behind you, we've been giving out some of our samples of our Laverstock Park ice cream as well.
Dan, why did Fuller's want to get involved with Tidefest?
Because we're a family business, you know, we still have family in Fuller's at our roots, and I think it's important to be part of the community and getting everybody involved. There's lots of families here today enjoying the festival, so it's good.